I want to know what your biggest moment in pickleball was. I think I can guess it.
Oh, you can? Nice. Let's start there.
How does an adrenaline junkie with zero racket sports background become drafted as an alternate for the MLP? Hi, I'm AJ, and welcome to Tracie DeJager's Pickleball Life.
Wouldn't you say one of your biggest moments is going into labor on the court?
Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah, 100%.
Can you share that story with me, please?
You know, when people start getting the pickleball fever, they just are crazy about it, right? Yeah. So I happened to be 9 months pregnant at the time. We were in the middle of just rec play, and I started having contractions. My dad and my significant other at the time was like, no, let's keep playing. So I was taking 1 minute contraction breaks, leaning over the garbage can that was sitting on the side of the court. I had seen the doctor earlier that day, and they do recommend that you just continue to stay active, and that will also just help the process along. So I listened to his words.
Did your water break on the court?
No, I did make it to the hospital, and a few hours later, my youngest son, Zayden, was born. Happy, healthy little dude.
Oh, so is it true that pickleball actually helped you have like a decent labor?
I mean, I think so. Like my endorphins were going, and I was jacked from having fun play, and yeah, so I just got there, and we just kept rolling.
So talk to me about you and your dad. It seems like you guys discovered pickleball together.
Yeah, so my dad had, I was always kind of his playmate as a kid. We always did all the activities together, and he had been talking to me about this pickleball thing. We happened to be camping and ran into the pickleball thing. He was like, "This is a pickleball thing I was telling you about." And they happened to be having like a small tournament there, and they were down one player, so they had actually asked if I would join in and play. So they taught me the rules and kind of helped me along. So then I just continued to keep playing with my dad just as a hobby.
And then you guys started competing together?
Yeah, so then there was just a small tournament in Vancouver, Washington, and my dad had asked me to play. He asked what's my highlight. Of course, one, it was going into labor on the court, and then two, out of all the tournaments and different medals I've won, I think winning that one with my dad was like the coolest.
I could never imagine being on the court with my dad. We would be like in a knockout fight.
A lot of times they talk about like couples can really hit or miss on making like a good team. I think that's probably true when it comes to family members. There's JW and Georgia, Lindsay and Riley, and Annalie and her mom. With my dad, I would have a hard time. He's a very competitive individual. His emotions makes it difficult for me to be a competitor. Just being, I guess, empathetic in that way, that when I feel my dad maybe getting frustrated, then that bums me out, and then I don't necessarily get frustrated, but then, maybe play a little tight or something because I want to fix that.
Do you and your dad continue playing tournaments?
No, I didn't continue to play with my dad after that. I happened to run into a good friend, Sarah Ansberry, who I had gone to high school with. She was a year younger than me at the time. I know she had played tennis throughout high school, and she was actually the pro there at the tennis center that the tournament was being held at. So she had said, "Hey, did you hear about this pickleball thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm here to play that pickleball thing." And we traveled around a bit and played some tournaments together. And then, she continued to travel and play more and get more serious. And at that time, I was becoming a mom, and because I was pregnant with who's my oldest now.
So talk to me about your life before the pickleball thing.
I never played any kind of racket sport as a background. I played basketball, I played lacrosse, I played soccer. After playing those sports in college, I took on snowboarding and kite surfing, and I traveled all over the world doing both of those.
How does someone get into it?
That activity is pretty big here in the Gorge in Oregon. I happened to get into it because my brother had bought me a lesson and just became hooked. I've always kind of been an adrenaline junkie, so yeah. And then I decided, well, I want to settle down and have some kids, so I should do something that's less dangerous and more local.
Talk to me about getting drafted into the MLP and explain to me what it is to be an alternate, how you get drafted. I have so many questions.
So I was drafted as an alternate for the MLP, and they choose whom they pay and who is asked to go as an alternate based on your duper rating. It's a good experience. I got to watch and experiment. I got to watch one of my good buddies, Irina, just kill it that time. It was fun. You don't end up playing unless somebody gets injured or sick or has to withdraw. Then at that time, then the team and the team owners can go ahead and choose one of the alternates whom are at that tournament to go ahead and sub in. So at that time, they didn't need anybody for an alternate. So
were you aching to play? Were you watching and being like, put me in, coach?
Yeah.
Did someone get injured? Were you hoping?
I know. I hate to say that, but yeah. And then I caught myself. I'm like, is that okay? And I'm like, I hope somebody gets hurt or sick. Like, that just seems wrong. I don't like thinking like that, but I actually am thinking like that. It was fun. Yeah, it was a good experience. So, and I'm glad nobody got sick and nobody got hurt and everybody got to play and everybody had a good tournament. But it was cool. The energy and the vibe and, everything those team events are just awesome. So I wish they would do more of them.
You've been around the sport for about 10 years now, you said?
Yeah, at least 10 years. I hate to God, that makes me feel, well, I am old. I was going to say that makes me sound old. Yeah, no, I'm old.
This sport has exploded just in the last couple of years. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been around to witness this craze.
Sometimes I was like, it was mind blowing, right? I'm like, what? Why is it? Everybody knows pickleball now. And everybody is like, oh my God, you're playing that thing and I want to learn. And it's just, I think it was just a result of COVID, really. And then just kind of, a lot of people looking for alternate things to do. I love teaching these intro clinics, and these people come to these intro clinics and they're like, I've never played a eye, hand, paddle, foot, anything in my life. I'm a dancer. And they are so excited to learn, and you can learn this sport, and I think that's what really draws people and has made it kind of explode the way it has, is it's just so demographically, anybody can play,
How did you get into teaching?
It started with me just teaching others that were interested a few years ago, but it really exploded for me just with my personal life and transitions, becoming a single mom, changing what I was currently doing career-wise, and I guess walking into pickleball the right time that this facility was opening up close to my house, and just the stars aligned in a way that timing-wise worked out for me. You're frozen. Did you know that? Oh, there, you're totally back. And I was going to tell you, you at least freeze-framed on a cute pose. It wasn't like me.
You mentioned you were involved in another career prior to pickleball. What were you doing prior to teaching?
Well, I was selling real estate, and I'm still doing that a little bit. But I was partnering with my significant other's mom. So when our separation occurred, that separation occurred, and I was kind of looking for. It wasn't really my jam anyway, so I just moved right along and found what I love doing.
Tracie, take a moment, let people know if you have any upcoming clinics, where they can follow you, or if you have a website you want people to go to.
Realizing myself, we do women's clinics once or twice a month at Rex. We get a chance to get a bunch of amazing women around and play a sport we love. So that's coming up here. We got a couple of them in May. Check out the Rex website if you want to sign up. You can follow me on Instagram, Tracie DeJager.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It was great getting to know you, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you play at a tournament or going to one of your clinics.
All right. That sounds awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next episode where I'll be speaking with Sarah Weiss, an up-and-coming Canadian pickleball player who went from no sports background to playing in the US Open.